Let's say, for you I come with my representation. You know where I'm coming from. You caught me on the loose, fighting to be free. Now you show me a noose on the cotton tree. Entertainment for you, martyrdom for me. 96 degrees in the shade.
Good evening, New Amsterdam. Good evening, the good people of Tuckburg. Any Brigham and Mervyn people in the house? Where are my people from Stanley Town? Guyana to bro. Guyana to bro. And if you want to eat cheese, the rat must go. Sometimes you want to turn, you have to turn to the person next to you, whether friend or foe, whether acquaintance or you don't know the person. I want you to turn to them and give them the victory sign, because we will have a massive victory on the 1st of September. Victory under the leadership of Aubrey Norton and Joretta Vanessa Fernandes. Comrades, New Amsterdam is special to me. I worked here in the 80s as manager of the Hand in Hand. And I opened business here, Church's Chicken, in 2008 and 2009. And even now I have a business in New Amsterdam, but I won't tell you what it is. I did not decide to enter politics lightly or ill-advisedly, my friends. I did not throw my hat into this ring for personal gain. This is the grandmother of all elections. And you have a clear choice to make. You have to make a choice between poverty or fair distribution of our wealth. You have to make a choice between corruption, corruption with lands, corruption with contracts, corruption with GPL, corruption in the police force, corruption with firearm license, corruption everywhere. You have to make a choice between corruption and integrity. You must make a choice for justice or injustice. Will we have justice for the Henry boys? Will we have justice for Adriana? Will we have justice for the Linden martyrs? Will we have justice for the Mucker squatters? Will we have justice for the people from Milford? You must make a choice between competence and incompetence. You must make a choice between candidates who have numerous allegations of fraud and criminality and a candidate who has 50 years in politics and a clean record. You must make a choice, my friends. My friends, you must make a choice between a candidate who I can go and get his university transcript and a candidate who I am still searching for his university. This is the candidate where I'm searching for his university, supposedly graduated from the University of West Indies. And when you go to the University of West Indies and you say, let me see his thesis, it is not for public consumption. Comrades, they say that Aubrey Norton doesn't smile enough. But what is there to smile while the cabal at Freedom House is raping this country? There is nothing to smile about. I guarantee you that Aubrey Norton will smile when we fix the problems in this country. I am not a bright man, but the choice was clear to me. I could not stand on the side. I could not sit in the fence. I had to give my support to Aubrey Norton, the next president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. For Guyana to grow! For Guyana to grow! Comrade Aubrey has asked me to give him a hand in managing this economy in September. I know that many of you are suffering in this fastest growing economy in the world. The wealth ain't trickling down. We thirsty down at the bottom. It is sheer punishment for Guyanese. Listen, the government owns GMC, the Guyana Marketing Corporation, and they have said that food prices are up 75% since 2021. And I believe if we go back to 2020, it will be up 100%. Rent gone up, everything gone up. And while the people are suffering, the fat man, the song says, there was a fat man oppressing us in 96 degrees in that song. A fat man in the Queen employ. That fat man is holding balls at State House and so on. And he has scantily clad females up in the air. He is eating lamb and lobster. Even the Muslim people said that is haram. My friends, never in my decades of following politics in Guyana have I seen a candidate more connected to the grassroots than Aubrey Norton. Aubrey Norton is a man of the people, a man for the people, and a man chosen by the people. The measures that he will put in place will help you, everyone, to have a livable, every household will have livable income. In the first 100 days in office, old age pension going to 100,000. No taxes if you're earning less than 400,000. Public sector wages going up by 35%. And comrades, you will get a cash transfer of 100,000 into your bank account. You don't have to stand up and take your picture and do no video thanking, Aubrey. You don't have to dehumanize yourselves. But we must remember, we must spare a thought for the candidates from WIN, because we're going to have to give them cash because they don't have any bank accounts anymore. I want to ask you a question. Which is the only clean party in this election? I can't hear you. Louder. Listen to me. The top rat in this country, the bald head rat, the top rat, the stink rat, any rat y'all want to call. He says that our plans are not sustainable. But what does he know about running a country? This is the man where if you want US dollars, it's 229 to 1 on the road. If you go to the bank, you can't get $100. This is the man who spent 187 million on Skeldon. This is the man who spent 1-point-something billion on a fiber optic cable that can't work. This is a man who sold Source Pharmaceuticals to his friend and cost us billions of dollars. But listen, let's not stay in history. Right now, he started a gas-to-energy project. No feasibility study. He said they cost 900 billion. The cost is now 2 billion. What kind of man is this? And he wants to tell us how to run the country. I am telling you, we will have agriculture centers. Every region will produce enough food to feed its people. Every region. And we will have trade policies. And we will have energy policies to increase our exports. And that's how we will make things sustainable. You know, I saw a video with Irfan. And he's talking like a madman. And he's saying about who ain't got brains who ain't got intellect, who ain't got vision, who ain't got strategy, and who ain't got policy. Well, I didn't hear from the start, but Irfan must have been talking about himself. You know, they took over GPL. Under the new AFC administration, blackouts reduced. They take over, right? Blackouts gone up. They bring 2 shipwrecks. One shipwreck's right out here at Everton. They got another shipwreck down in Georgetown. And even with those shipwrecks, you still getting blackout. Those shipwrecks, we got to pay $500 million every year for those shipwrecks. And now they're bringing a company to supervise GPL. There is no competence. This is pure incompetence between Irfan and the Godfather, the God Rat. You know, I want to stop for a second. I know we're over my time, but Aubrey not gonna knock me off. Listen, I want to divert for a minute. You know, over the last couple of months, everybody said, APNU ain't strong in New Amsterdam. But as I look out here, I want you to make a big noise so everybody could know that the APNU is strong in New Amsterdam. Comrades, the top rat, the bald head rat, he is in charge of the energy sector. And Gordy rat, oh my God, no, I ain't going there. Listen to me. Listen to me. This man, I opened the papers, I think it's yesterday or the day before. And this man says that Chevron, who just buy out Hess, is going to look out for the interests of Guyana. Never in my life I ever heard a third world leader spout such feces. I can't say the word, my children might be watching. You know, imagine he is expecting Chevron to look out for Guyana. If that is not incompetence, I don't know what is. Listen, Barack, I am saying to you, do not wait for September 1st. Leave now. Leave now. Comrades, I want to deal with something. Because they will tell you that the new AFC government was no good. It did a bad job. And I want to debunk that tonight. And I want each and every one of you to go home. And you debunk it because we got some in our homes who are running all over the place. But I can come to them in a second. Listen, and I just want to give you some numbers. The PPP was in charge in 2013. And economic growth was 5.2%, right? In 2014, it was 3.8%. It already fallen. By 2015, it was 3%. The new AFC government inherited an economy from the PPP that was in recession. And we had to stabilize it. And by 2019, economic growth was back up again, 4.7%. And by 2020, and remember, APNU AFC ran the country for 8 months in 2020, and economic growth was 43.5%. Let them not tell you that the APNU AFC government was a waste of time. That is not true. Debunk it. Every government makes some mistakes, and they made some mistakes, but they did a good job stabilizing this economy. They created 15,000 jobs. They improved the power situation. They reduced the crime rate. They stopped extrajudicial killings. They increased public sector wages by 77%. Up to now, we're found only give 35%. And he got all money. Come on, Aubrey, I can finish just now. Don't knock me off, please. To our youths, I say that the PPP promised in 2020 to improve access to financing for investments so you could start your own business. They did not deliver. They promised a national job bank and a labor exchange. They did not deliver. APNU AFC provided bikes, buses, and boats to get our kids to school. They abandoned the program and now come in talking about transportation grants, when we already had the bikes, buses, and boats. The APNU government, when it comes in, and I'm talking to you young people, I want you to go home and tell your friends. Because let me tell you all something. This election is to be fought until September 1st, 6 p.m. I want to divert for a minute. 1 year, I was going to flirt with a party. And I was 5 minutes from the polling station. And my mother called me. And she said, Terry, you vote yet? I said, no, Mommy, I'm on my way. She said, vote right, boy. I said, Mommy, I end up on that stupidness. She talked to me. And in 5 minutes, when I reached the polling station, I put my ex on the palm tree. So you are mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles. You are to fight. This is not finished until 6 p.m. Young people, and I see some here. We will give you $50,000 a month if you're still studying after you leave secondary school. The part-time workers will give you 50% a month and we'll train you and place you in jobs. We will create 40,000 good full-time jobs during the APNU administration. We will award thousands of contracts. Contracts of construction, contracts of sanitation, contracts of beautification, contracts of facilities management, contracts for infrastructure. Those of you who are getting contracts from the fat man, take the contracts, but understand you will get contracts from us, but we're going to train you to do the job properly. And we will give you scholarships to go to reputable universities. No application will be accepted for the University of Iceland anymore because that has not worked out well for Guyana. We will give you easier, young people, we'll help you with mining permits. They got a whole load of corruption taking place in the Ministry of Natural Resources and so on. That will stop. Young people, you want to go and gold mining, we will give you mining permits. You're going to get housing on a rent-to-own basis. And most important, we will consult with you. We will listen to you. We will implement some of the things that you tell us to do. And we will protect you so that there are no more Adrian Youngs again. Yesterday was Emancipation Day. And it would be remiss of me not to say something about emancipation. Our ancestors were entrepreneurial. Because as soon as emancipation came, they were able to go and buy villages, 100 villages in 10 years. And in some cases, the colonial man, the white man, raised the price, artificially inflated the price. They think they wouldn't have been able to buy it, and they bought it. Buxton is an example of that. And they did this because they wanted to be spiritually, economically, and politically independent. And that was a desire for themselves and for us. And in many ways, I believe we do not honor the sacrifices of our ancestors. APNU remembers the sacrifices of the former enslaved and the indentured servants. They, with great wisdom, created opportunities for us to succeed. Our plans are exactly the same for you young people. Go to any APNU rally and you see young people in leadership roles. Look behind me. Give them a big. But most of all, if you want the evidence of APNU's commitment to youth, we have placed a young woman as our next prime minister. She will be just one heartbeat away from the presidency. That she will be our first female prime minister, and our first indigenous prime minister, and our first young female prime minister. And that is evidence of our commitment. And whilst I'm on the subject of indigenous brothers and sisters, you know, they say for Guyana to grow, I say Dharamlal must not come back. Imagine, after everything that's in the public domain, they slap our indigenous brothers and sisters in the face and put Dharamlal back on the candidates list. And you know what? I believe they want to make him Minister of Amerindian Affairs. But I am calling on our indigenous brothers and sisters to slap them back and elect Juretta Pelesipelmans as our next prime minister. My friends, as the PPP boasts about the poor roads they constructed, remember they're spending our oil money. As they boast about the new hospitals for which they'd have no doctors, no nurses, no drugs, no equipment, remember they're spending our oil money. I sit on the investment committee of the oil fund, and they will just send a letter and say, we want 300 million, we want 100 million, with no proper reason, and they spend it all out. They spend out 95% of the money that we earn from oil every year. A few years ago, they said they wanted 75, and they got drunk on the money, and they gone all the way to 95. Every single cent of your oil money is being spent crazy by the PPP. You know, there's a man named Andrew Wicketer, don't know if he's alive, but he won $114 million in the lottery, and he was broke 4 years later. There's a country named Nauru, and they were once the richest country. These people were the richest in the world, and today they are broke. If we keep the PPP, if we allow them to continue squandering our oil money, we are going to end up the same way. And I will make a declaration here to you tonight that none of the other parties, they like to copy everything. So watch, they can try to copy. The APNU government will save a minimum of 25% of our oil money every year. And in Ghana, they have the same mechanism like us. Oil money come in, you put it in the consolidated fund, and you spend it. But in Ghana, they account for every single cent. If they build a dog kennel, they account for it. And the APNU government will account for every single cent of the oil money that we collect. We will account to you because it's your money. So choose you well, my friends. Choose you well. I notice the young people, they are flirting. They are flirting with some parties. They're exploring different political avenues. But I want them to understand that governing is not pigeon business. Government and international diplomacy requires knowledge, skills, experience, and integrity. So I say to them that win will cause you great pain. And when you have pain from win, you must pass it out and then come back home. The path is clear. You have an APNU team under the leadership of Comrade Aubrey and Comrade Giretta. A balanced, qualified, competent team with integrity intact. And on the other hand, you have parties of fraud, squander, and corruption. I say to you that all our peoples find fraud, squander, and corruption repugnant. So choose you well, my friends. For Guyana to grow, for Guyana to survive, vote for them. Vote for which party? Thank you, New Amsterdam. Thank you, Berbice. Thank you, Guyana. God bless this beautiful land.
No people come to Jamaica and no know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and things. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get few understand the real thing. Yeah. They are told one day, up with a white man will come all the way from Norway.
Make the voice of
Dr. Campbell. How comes Jamaica full of so much screw face? Same time lift me head to the sky, and a teardrop fall from me high. Me say man, you come and go out for a drive. Let me show you why me cry. Look on the gully side. Do you see anything to smile about? Look at that hungry child, yeah. Do you see anything to smile about?
Look, we don't want to stop the vibe, but right now, if you are driving or the owner of PAJ 7847, you're blocking the entrance to DSL. DSL, right? PAJ 7847, 7847. If you're driving that vehicle, just you're blocking the entrance there. All right? Now, hear what? Very quickly, we want to tell you this. You know, this thing ain't done tonight, right? Tonight is not the last night. We still get enough more night of this thing. And next Sunday.
Listen, I want you to wave these flags. I want you to raise those flags. The persons that are sitting, once you can stand, please stand for me. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we have a man. I said we have a man. Listen, they can't find a door to him. New Amsterdam, my leader of the PNCR, my leader of the APNU, the leader of the opposition. Listen, listen, listen. New Amsterdam, the next president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. New Amsterdam! Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you His Excellency Aubrey Norton!
Going to count your blessings, yeah. Well, today is a new day. All praises to the Lord, the Savior, my sanctified. Now make them stress me. Me a wall of vibe. With red boom, TJ, I'm moon, and my bona fide. And the Lord is around us. Blessings around us. Me not care who like me. Me just a go show love. And the Lord is around us. Blessings surround us. May not care who like me. They just a go show love. Oh, find me I come from. But the journey, good thing God got me. See it and you feel it. Find me I come from. Life has meaning. Get a you keep on believing. So see it and feel it. Oh, life is so rough sometimes. Heaven in the cry. I feel up something with my life.
Good evening, New Amsterdam. Good evening, Berbice. We are on the path to victory. I say to you, without fear of contradiction, that we are going to beat the People's Progressive Party. My friends, the PPP is so desperate. They are spreading a rumor that we are moving Director of Finance as prime ministerial candidate. They are that dangerous. They lie like when horse trotting. I say to you, our prime ministerial candidate, Ms. Director of Finance, is at present in the Upper Mazaruni working in your interest to change this wicked government. I have no doubt that at the end of the elections on September 1st, the next prime minister will be Director Finance. My friends, I come to you this evening because the People's Progressive Party has destroyed this country. There was a time in Guyana when you could have gone to the police and expect justice. But the People's Progressive Party has politicized the Guyana police force. They have destroyed it. And so our task is to get rid of them and restore law and order. The bald-headed rat, he's vexed when I said this, but it's true. The bald-headed rat cannot live with a decent police force. The PPP cannot live with the rule of law. The PPP cannot live with justice because all of their actions are unjust. Their actions are against the law. You know, I would have thought that political leaders would at minimum respect our children. But when a political cabal could seek to cover up the murder of an 11-year-old child, it is time for them to go. There was a time in this country when people got contracts based on merit. Now, for you to get contract, you have to sign a PPP membership form. And they're so damn stupid until they haven't learned that people will take their money and vote APNU. You know how I know
that the PPP in deep trouble? I recognize they're in deep trouble when the president took it upon himself to do the work of the Police Service Commission. And what he did is to announce promotions which are valid until now. I hope the policemen aren't fooled. There is no Police Service Commission. I don't know how he promoting them. But he promoting them like how Jack Dale promoted the president and make him prime minister. This country got two prime ministers. Both of them are stooges of Jack Dale. One named Phillips without a mark, and the other one is an orphan named Ali. They must recognize by now that the entire Guyana is aware that neither of the two of them, not one of them, runs this country. The country is run into the ground by a demon named Barrett Jack Dale. You know, they believe they can govern by fear. They're instilling fear in everyone. But I want to say this to them. You can't do worse than they did in slavery. And people had the resilience to overcome. And I say to you, we shall overcome. We're going to overcome and beat the People's Progressive Party because we have better policies than them. Let the blow hole. Yes, we're saying to you, we have better policies than them. The best thing the PPP can do is thief. Outside of stealing, that's just what it is, do copy. You know, if you went to a university that doesn't exist, you're going to have a good brain. And that is why everything we would have said, he repeats. Let me tell you who Barrett and Irfan just remind me of. When I was a little boy growing up in Linden, I was told that a wet, rainy night, a blind man and a deaf man go for thief coconut. And the blind man decide, well, I can't see. And you the see, so you can climb. So as he going up and the place slippery, he fall down, brap. And here the blind man in the ground, another thrush like that do we good. We have a blind man and a deaf man running this country. One can't see and one can't hear. And the one with the see, they tell himself he talking to the one who don't hear. Only in Guyana. But we said this to you. We have developed what we call a people-centered development strategy. Our intention is to put the people of Guyana first. For too long, this country's resources go into the hands of the PPP, their family, their friends, and their favorites. We intend to end that. Notice, the PPP doesn't mention the word poverty. But PPP in Guyana means plenty people in poverty. And you know why they don't mention the word poverty? If they mention the word poverty, they're going to reduce the money they get to thief. Because they will have to put them in projects that will take people out of poverty. We say to you, we have programs that are going to take you out of poverty. Our objective is to eradicate poverty. You know, the PPP said they were going to create 50,000 jobs, and they put a big on a board, promise delivered. The last set of people that get house can't enter the lot there or anything. And people out there know this. So you must be careful. The best thing about the PPP outside the corruption is the propaganda. They would see no water coming from a pipe and say, you see, the PPP provided water. That is the cabal we're dealing with. And we're saying to you, we're going to put the people first. We're going to put money in the pockets of the people. We're saying to you, we're going to give you a livable income. We believe our pensioners should not be scrunting around. We believe our pensioners should get a decent income. And that is why we say we will more than double the pension and make it $100,000 per month. Right now, we're considering, we didn't decide as yet, but when I done say this, I know Irfan and Jack will say it tomorrow. But we are considering bringing the pension age down to 60. I bet you by tomorrow, they're coming up with something on pension. You know, I want to say this to you. We are in these elections to get political power. We're not fooling anybody that we don't want political power. We want political power, but we're going to use that political power to serve you, the people of Guyana. I want to say this to the 10-day workers. They give you that because they wanted to control you. But don't be stupid with all this nonsense they're telling you, but people gonna know how you vote. Nobody will know how you vote. So you will go into that box. And remember, it wouldn't stop there. We're going to ensure there is education and training so that you can improve yourself and get a steady job. When a government allows thousands of young people to live 5 years of their life without a proper job, paying no NIS, they are placing you on the poverty line. And we will change that. We want you in proper jobs with you paying up your NIS so you can get the benefits at the end of it. And we guarantee you, under the APNU, we will improve the benefits you get from the National Insurance Scheme. Because our aim is to serve you, the people. My friends, I said for a long time, we will develop a rent-to-own scheme. I want young people particularly to understand what we're saying here. We're saying that we will build you houses. We're saying that you will occupy those houses. We're saying that you will pay a rent. And when the rent covers the cost of the house will be transferred to you. We're also saying that we do not believe that in an oil-rich country, people should be living in this level of poverty. And we're saying to you, apart from our rent to own, because we know we can't house everybody right away, but we also are saying to you, we will give rent and mortgage assistance so that people can live a comfortable life. We believe, I told the launch that I met 2 young indigenous women who said to me they were teaching in Georgetown, but they end up living on the East Bank. And transportation carries away most of their money. And I said to them, it is people like you that our rent to own and our mortgage and rent assistance will help. We do not want young people punishing in this country. You know, I want to say this to you. This government has at its disposal enough resources to deliver to the people. But you know what they're using the resources on? For take fat out of people's belly. If you're fat like me, stay fat or exercise, run. But don't misuse our money to suck the waste out of your. I want to urge you not to be carried away by the so-called infrastructure work. The government puts a lot of money into infrastructure because it offers them the best opportunity to rob the people of Guyana. They got one named Critic. He got with 800 million and he do nothing yet. The PPP has no interest in the development of Guyana. They have no interest in New Amsterdam. Or else when we were telling them that it is better to put the bridge down that way so that it came from West Coast Bobis to somewhere in the area Sisters Village. But you know why they did what they did? Because they wanted to take away business from New Amsterdam. In government, we will build a bridge, but we will put it where all Guyanese can benefit. You know, they talk about infrastructure. You can't be serious, Ejil. You cannot be serious. You are building roads, and when the equipment go in, the road go in as well. They're building a road in South Rhineveld since Noah was a little boy. You hear they say promise delivered? New Amsterdam. Answer me and answer me honestly. Did you get the athletics track that they're building since Noah was a little boy? Why is it a project that was budgeted for since 2019 cannot be completed? New Amsterdam, don't be fooled. The PPP has no interest in the development of New Amsterdam. We're saying to you, we're saying to you that we are going to do infrastructure in such a way that all communities benefit. We have said that we will do the road linking Linden and New Amsterdam. In that process, we will open new lands. We have said we're going to build inter-regional highways so that we link the regions. And that process of building inter-regional highways will open more lands for people to live and for business. That is genuine development, not building a road that you call Heroes Highway, and when you finish with it, the place more congested. And they're so damn stupid. They're now going and build the Demerara Bridge because they didn't want to put it where we Sefer put it. They're now going to throw everything on the Heroes Highway. It's not heroes. You want me to tell you who are the people that making decisions? I won't call them donkeys. It would be unfair to do that. But they got long ears and they don't think. They must know that if you build that road and you throw all the traffic onto it, you're creating confusion. Guyanese have problems. Well, the PPP has always been a problem. So, we believe that there should be a new approach to infrastructure. We need to do modern infrastructure. You can't bring them big trucks and build a little gypsy road that they're building. We promise you we will build proper roads. And let me tell you the nature of the PPP. Ask the young persons who went with us. And I say tonight they're a racial party. They're a racist party. Let me tell you what some young people working with us in our staying experience. And I want Jagdeo to listen. I want Irfan to listen. They have their supporters preaching race. One woman had the audacity to tell a group, even the dogs in her stallion don't like black people. Ask any one of them that was there. Now, I didn't blame that woman. I blame the system that the PPP puts in place that makes it very clear that there is only one Guyana, them Guyana, all other Guyana is dead Guyana. And so we must not be carried away by the slogan of one Guyana. If there was one Guyana, all Guyanese would have gotten contracts in a fair way. We're saying to you, under the APNU, we are going to train people to do proper construction work. We're saying to you, we're going to deliver quality. Not the nonsense, Ejil. You're not going to do the nonsense Ejil is doing. You know, I remember when he said, if Christ devoted, he would have voted for the APNU. I don't know, for the PPP. I don't know since when Christ does vote for wickedness. I don't know since when Christ liked demonic activities. Look, I tell people, I have an idea of what a priest should be or a pastor. The only description I will give Ejil is not priest, is beast. Just look at how he handles people when they have to move for some. If there was a scope for when you perform wickedness, the good Lord strike you down, they all would have been lying flat. And so, I now speak to the young people. We are going to ensure resources come to you. We will set up our National Youth Fund so that young people can access grants and soft loans to be in business. We believe that our young people, once we train them and put them in business, they will do well. And we promise you, we will do that. For 5 years, the PPP has failed this country. Poverty has increased significantly. while their people, that elite group, they get extremely wealthy. Let me tell you how I know, or give you another reason why the PPP is just for themselves, their family, their friends, and favorites. We give 77% increase to workers across this country between 2015 and 2020 without oil money. In doing it, we give those at the bottom a higher percentage so that they will get more. And as they go up, we lessen the amount. They like to talk about some 50% increase to ministers. I don't know that they got 50%, but I can say this to you. After that increase, they had no other one. And Jack there, they had promised they will rescind it. You remember? They come and like it and increasing it for themselves. When in the last payout, where they give 10%, any Guyanese worker that was working for $100,000 got 10,000 increase. You hear me? You're working for 100, you get 10,000. Now, Irfan, his salary is like 2.9 million. You know what I mean? He get 290,000 per month increase. That is 2 times the income of the man, nearly 3 times the income of the man who has and obtained 100,000. And that is why we said to you, in returning to government, we will give the larger increase to those at the bottom, and those at the top, president, prime minister, ministers, will get a far lesser increase so that we contribute to bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. They had promised to change it. They had promised to change it. They refused to change it. Oh God, but if you don't change it, don't thief. I tell them by post jump their hand. They can't see we money and leave it. I told the group, Jack Deo has the audacity to call young people scrapes. And he's the biggest bald-head scrape they got. And not only is he a scrape, he is scraping the resources out of our treasury. Come September 1st, we must put an end to it. We must put our ex next to the palm. We cannot take another term of the People's Progressive Party. You know, years ago, I heard that a certain Rastaman asked the dog how things in Guyana, and the dog said, rough, 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 rough. We have to change that. We want to make Guyana a place where people enjoy a better life. We want Guyanese to be safe and secure. And so one of the first things we will do is to remove the misfits at the top of the Guyana police force. Anybody, any one of you who thinking about voting for the PPP, you must remember what you're voting for. You're voting for police get sanctioned for drugs. You're voting for the kill out your young people like they do or in Boston and others. You're going to be voting for the rich to use the police against you. And when they do something, you say name, you not call name, but if it fit them, so be it. But you know, if you say sheriff, it's a cowboy picture. But we need a law-abiding society. We do not need the approach of the People's Progressive Party. even in their own support base, people are calling you and telling you what they are doing. They ill-treat the poor in the communities they want, vote for them. You must be disrespectful to know the allegations made against Dharamlal and put him back. You know what the signal they actually send there? The signal they send there is that if you are powerful, you could do young women anything in this country. And we must vote against it. We must vote against it. Why must we encourage the lawlessness that is occurring? You had one in the Ropanuni who allegedly went with a girl, and when he didn't get his way, she got shot. No charges. You know? The only people get charged in this country is poor, ordinary people. If an Ali Depp on a poster and he gets signaling to you that they can do you what they like and they will get off. And don't forget, you know, if this was a decent country, Barrett Jack there would have been under investigation. The journalist came, asked him the question, trap him, and out of the blues he started saying, who? It should have been evident since then that this man is guilty. And at minimum, there should have been an investigation. But they all believe they're above the law. And you know why they believe they're above the law? The Duns president, the presidents, he had 19 fraud charges and they removed them. And so they send the signal very early that it is okay to thief. They give permission for everybody in this society to do wrong by their very attitude and approach. And so, let it be made very clear that a government under the APNU will ensure there is rule of law. And if you commit a crime, regardless of your status, you should do the time. We cannot have a law for poor people and another law or the absence of law for the rich. And so I'm saying to you, in these elections, we are voting to return honesty to Guyana. The PPP has removed every iota of decency from this country. And we said to you, we will take back Guyana and make it an honest place to live. I heard him saying that Muhammad is the most corrupt person in the country. Jesus, by something got wrong with him. He mirror ain't working at all. Because if he has a mirror at home, when he looks into it, he will see the most corrupt person in this country. In fact, a man said to me, it is still PPPC, People's Progressive Party corruption. The C now signifies corruption. That is the kind of country they want us to live in. We're saying to you, we're going to rebuild from the bottom. We want to see an education system in which by the time our children arrive at grade 4, they must know to read, write, count, reason, and comprehend. And if they do that at 4, they can do better than A-fan. Because he can't read. And I'm talking it with water in my mouth. He can't read. We want a population that is literate. We want a population that can read, write, count, reason, and comprehend. And so we are going to reorganize the school system to do that. We intend to pay teachers a livable income, because we don't only want them to teach, we want them to live a comfortable life. We will work to reduce the size of classes in the school. A lot of times we condemn our teachers, but they teach more than the average amount a teacher should be teaching. And I want to say this to you. Don't be carried away by the faces they put up on a board when they finish CXC. Mark like light. You know, only light, he blind. He saw what happens to teachers and talking about delivery to teachers. All he did is deliver his conscience to the PPP. But I'm saying to you, we will relook the primary school and ensure our children get a good primary education. Because when you get a good primary education, even if you drop out of school, you have the basis to return. And so we believe focus should be on delivering quality education to our children. We have already said we're going to set up a national early childhood education system, because we believe if a child is trained from a tender age, you will produce a better child. In 5 years, without oil money, we built 6 early childhood centers. And Ashley Singh come to the parliament with oil money and celebrating that they do too. We have got to do the things to get our people out of poverty. And that is what we commit ourselves. And so, my friends, I want you to go back to your communities, work tirelessly, and remember, the PPP is bent on thieving these elections. And so we have to organize ourselves to scrutinize the election. That is critical. All of us must scrutinize it. They must not get the chance to thieve. I believe that all Guyanese believe that if Guyana is to grow, the PPP must go. And so I urge you to come out on September 1st. Come out early and put your X next to the palm so that we can palm them out of government. Come August 2nd, we must have a new government in Guyana. I say to you, we will win. We will win. We will win. The APNU will win. I hope y'all hear the only time we saying win is when we saying the APNU will win. Have a good night and be safe. Thank you.
Blaze up.
And she has music.
Blaze up. Blaze up. Blaze up. Blaze up. Blaze up. Blaze up. President to pass through. I can't breathe, cause my head tapping on the roof. She can't sleep, she get trapped in her mood. Don't tell my boat.